Started. So, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the Cipher and Netskope Intelligent SSE presentation. Next slide, please, sure. So, I am Michael Butler. I'm a security consultant with Cipher, and with me I have a co-presenter, Sean Porter from Sales Engineering at Netskope. Next slide. Cipher was founded in 2000. It's a global cybersecurity company and delivers a variety of services, managed detection and response, security services, intelligence services, red team services, governance, risk and compliance, and technology integration. This is supported by Cipher Labs, which is a threat and intelligence research lab, and supported by 6 24/7 security operations centers. Cipher is also a division of Prosegur as of February 2019, and Prosegur is a publicly traded company, global leader in private security industry with about 175,000 employees. Next slide, please. So as it relates to Netskope, Cipher has the benefit of being relatively small and autonomous as a subsidiary, and we can assist in deploying Netskope and bringing it up to full operational strength by scaling your staffing. When adopting a new technology, there are, to borrow a phrase, unknown unknowns. It's very difficult to know which questions to ask. So Cipher can assist you in reducing those unknowns through previous experience and exposure. In terms of systems integration, we have a lot of diverse point products, and it's really sometimes difficult to see an overview of the complete security posture, and I think Cipher can assist in building that out. As it relates to Netskope, behavioral analysis in particular works best when it has a full picture of what's going on in the security environment. As related to the Security Operations Center, we can do event triage, incident response as needed. On a day-to-day basis, we can review the health of your environment and escalate when necessary. Similarly, with policies, every organization has its own secret source. In healthcare, for example, medical record numbers are often in different formats, and we can help you build rules to recognize your specific formats. In the same way, in the financial industry, there are a number of organizations that use private cards, and we can build out patterns and policies to recognize those specific formats. And an ongoing basis, because typically deployments run in the 3 to 6 month timeframe, we will stay with you and work through those horrible things called false positives. And I think that's where I should hand it off to Sean, if I can.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michael, and thank you to the Cipher team today for allowing me to go over our security services edge portfolio. So we're very excited today to announce to you folks on the phone details in regards to what we're doing today from a security services edge perspective. Now, I know most of you have probably heard a couple of buzzwords focused on the industry today. First of all, you might have heard the word SASE or SASE. Really what that is it is a framework for what we are trying to build now, which is SSE, or Security Services Edge. Security Services Edge is really what we have on the line card today to be able to sell to our customer base, right? And really focusing in on all those key unique differentiators that we have from a Netskope perspective. So let's just go ahead and dig in here. I want to make sure that, if you guys have any questions at all along the way, we can pause and, go over those questions. But let's dig in and see where this journey takes us. So from the biggest change in the cybersecurity world in over a decade, right? Focusing in here on phase one, and really what this means to us as a company today. This is really the initial phase of security products, right? Focused in on web, SaaS, private applications, and data, right? And what the overall arching framework here is focused on where we came from in the past, where we're currently at right now, and then where are we driving in the future, right? When we take a look at phase one was probably about maybe 5 to 10 years ago, right? And the fact that, folks needed URL filtering as part of their web protection, right? Folks also wanted to have SaaS application features built in. They also wanted to be able to connect their road warriors, right? Their overarching sales organization, right? The folks who were carrying a bag on the road. And then last but not least, from a data perspective, everyone was focusing on network-based DLP, right? DLP was, an overarching architecture focused on network-specific data loss. And now, here is really where we see the journey continuing. Phase two is really the emergence of our platform specifically, and the fact that folks wanted to move from basic URL filtering over to what we're now calling Secure Web Gateway. And really, our Secure Web Gateway capabilities go a long way to provide consistent security across every web browser, every website, right? And the ability now to do some very unique things there as well, which I'll discuss in a couple of slides from now. From a SaaS application perspective, shadow IT visibility was definitely part of what we do today. From a private application perspective, we now see widespread VPN usage just due to the fact that, we have several thousands and thousands of users now working from home each and every day. And then from an endpoint and email DLP perspective, we see that starting to grow now as well. So where are we going to be taking this into the future, right? And really what our focus is on three major buckets here, which would include web, SaaS applications, and then zero trust networking, right? And really what zero trust is allowing folks to be able to only see applications that they need to have access to. All other applications will not be able to be seen. And we can do that today either using our client, or the other option is to use it using clientless based strategies. And the clientless based strategies, you need to have an identity provider focus in there to make sure that you're able to see the applications that you want access to. And then from a data perspective, we are now fully invested, fully involved in full cloud-based DLP. So phase four is really where we're trying to move to today. We see several unsolved challenges happening right now. One of them being poor user experience and reduced productivity, right? Just due to having to use all of these different tools to dig into what's actually happening out in our environment today, right? Increased risk due to security gaps. We see that happening all the time. Increased operational complexity and costs just due to the fact that you're not going to be accessing all of these different things from the same view, right? And then what are we really trying to do here? We're trying to increase business agility, reduce risk via data and threats, and then last but not least here, simplify operations and decrease costs. We're able to do that today utilizing our one GUI and one platform message. So I will make sure that in future slides, we're calling some of these things out. Okay, so what are some key trends driving SSE and SASE today? From a distinct application and cloud services perspective today, we are seeing over 805 distinct applications being launched every day by a lot of our customers' workforce. We're seeing 74% data loss via G Drive and personal instances, right? So we have the ability today to look inside G Drive and make sure that we're securing personal instances or not allowing things out of our network into personal instances, all depending on which way you would want to go with that. Cloud-enabled threat delivery, over 18 months and counting, right? We're seeing all of these cloud-enabled threats all over the place. And then use of collaboration applications, right? We're seeing that grow as well. So there is definitely a need for flexible, agile platform for the future. We believe today that will be Netskope. So taking even a further look into SSE and what we're talking about today. So once again, SASE or SASE is really just an overarching framework, right? It was created by Gartner to allow us to see WAN services edge and security services edge all happening within the same confines of a solution, right? And we've definitely seen many vendors today picking up the WAN edge services component, and Netskope is really never going to be focused on WAN edge services, right? Our big buy-in here is really focused on security services and what we have to go to market with today, right? So we have the ability to protect all applications, all APIs, all data, all devices, whether it be a SaaS-based tool or an IaaS-based tool. We also have the ability to protect data centers, branch, and edge, right? And we do that utilizing our platform. So with the platform being mentioned here, let's just cut directly into this slide. Netskope has been named a leader in the 2022 Gartner Magic Quadrant for SSE. And as you can see up here, there's only 3 players in that leader quadrant. Netskope happens to land right there in the middle, right? However, we feel very strongly that our position within this market today, due to the fact that Gartner has actually released some additional comments focused on SSE, which we will definitely get into within this presentation as well, right? We feel very strongly that we are definitely the best in the industry. So what is Netskope, right? What are we trying to do here? Our big focus is going to be majorly on data protection, right? We go out and find all of the malicious things happening to the data out there in the world today. We're able to diagnose and help protect sensitive data with our DLP mechanism. So with that being said, let's break into a product slide here. So if we take a look at this slide, down here on the bottom of the slide, you're going to see remote users, unmanaged devices, IoT devices, HQ and branch offices, all wanting to, take care of all of those security features or failures that we're seeing out there, right? And how we do that is by steering traffic into our new edge network. And our new edge network, folks, is the highest performing security network in the world today. We have soaked close to $180 million into building out our global based infrastructure focused on that experience and the fact that we are the fastest network in the world, along with the most peering from a peering perspective in the world today as well. So up here on the top, you will see 3 product categories that are bolded. Right, first one is going to be secure web gateway. Right, we actually have the next generation secure web gateway. The second piece right in the middle here, you're going to see is CASB. Right, and then over to the right, we see zero trust network architecture. Right, and those are our 3 big SSE interlays. Right, we have the ability today to do advanced threat protection, ML-powered data protection, and cloud risk management for each one of those various features. Okay, and then we also have adaptive zero trust, which basically means that we can disallow folks to see things within our network environment based upon the zero trust model that the customer or you would choose. Now, we also do some other unique features. We do RBI, or remote browser isolation, for risky websites. So if you have a lot of websites that your folks will be trying to go out to, we have the ability to basically catalog that instance of that browser session and take care of that to allow your internal folks to only see things that we would want them to see within that browser window, right? So we disallow the ability to highlight text. We disallow the ability to copy paste. We disallow the ability to print and do other unique things on those domains. So that type of thing is something very cool and a very unique feature to Netskope, but also to SSE specifically. We also have a cloud firewall, which allows us to take a look at ports and protocols, all egressing our new edge network, which will allow you for some additional security controls out there on the network itself. We do CSPM, or Cloud Security Posture Management, as well as SaaS Security Posture Management, which might not ring a bell. However, both of those 2 things together, allowing you to protect your cloud-based applications. So we also have ecosystem integrations here, which I will focus on in a couple of slides. All right, so once again, our new edge network here being shown, we have over 55 regions or data planes all over the world today, right? And this, once again, is the fastest private security network in the world. Okay, so what we have the ability to do is traffic steer all of your data up into the cloud and allow within a single pass to bring that information back, allowing you to securely access all of your cloud data. So the new edge network, once again, is probably one of our biggest features, because of the fact that it is fast and very agile. Okay, so here are some of the companies that we currently peer with up in the cloud, right? And this allows us for a much faster delivery mechanism overall, just due to the fact that we peer with Google, we peer with Microsoft, or we peer with Apple, we peer with Salesforce, we peer with all of these different vendors to allow us to have that fast one pass architecture. And what else do we have as a component to NewEdge? We have the ability to drive some very consistent SLAs. All right, so we have existing 5 nines of uptime and availability within our NewEdge data traffic processing. Okay, so here you will see round trip processing of non-decrypted transactions. We are doing that at less than 10 milliseconds, right? And it really is the industry's best. If you take a look at Palo Alto Networks or Zscaler or Skyhigh or McAfee or what have you, and you take a look at their SLAs really state 100 milliseconds or less of overall latency, right? We are doing 10 times better than they are from a latency perspective due to the fact that we have those peering relationships, right? And then for decrypted traffic, we're looking at 50 milliseconds or less of overall latency. And that is an industry first. No other competitor today or other vendor will have the ability to do that today. That is strictly us, and that is because of our NewEdge network. Okay, so let's break into a quick discussion focused on advanced cloud DLP, right? So as we can see here, by taking a look at the top of this slide, over 3,000 plus data identifiers and over 1,500 plus file types, right? So we definitely have one of the industry's best cloud-based DLP protection platforms, right? And the reason why is because Netskope started doing this probably 5 or 6 years ago, right? When everyone else was focused on network-based DLP, we had already started to work on cloud-based DLP as part of our CASB inception, right? We were first known as a CASB vendor, right? And I think everyone in the crowd today probably knows that, right? Netskope equals CASB. It used to, right? Not anymore. Now we are a full SSE provider with our platform, right? But getting back to this slide specifically, we have 4-in-1 data protection over web, SaaS, IaaS, and email using a single pass, right? We have that SASE ready architecture. We already have the ability to do ML enhanced classification to find sensitive data that others might miss. Right? We have the ability to do OCR as well, right? An exact match, which a lot of our competitors can't do today, right? And then from a fingerprinting perspective, we have 0 in on inspection targets. And then last but not least, once again, that single pass DLP enables efficiency. We're able to do that via web, IaaS, data in motion, IaaS data at rest, SaaS data in motion, or SaaS data at rest, right? So just going to show you the fact that we are able to do DLP in such a way that we have the ability to protect all of these crucial resources, once again, all from one GUI and one cloud native platform. Okay, so now let's discuss the context of an actual SSE policy. Okay, so if we take a look at the bottom of this screen, you're going to see a typical web security solution, right? You're going to be able to see the user. You're also more than likely going to be able to see the device, right? Maybe it's a managed corporate laptop, or maybe it's an unmanaged iPad, wherever it might be out there. Most typical web security solutions will at least offer you that, right? And then also URL categorization. You might be able to see the activity, what the customer is trying to do there, either view or upload or what have you. And then, from a threat perspective, threat intel, an AV analysis via the sandbox, maybe, right? And then from a data perspective, you're going to be able to pull ICAP to DLP, and the policy action will be allow or block, right? That's it. And that's probably about as simple as you can get. However, if we take a look at the top of this slide now, our rich policy context of Netskope within our intelligent SSE, we have the ability to do much, much more, right? So we can log in as a user, and that user could either be managed or using a personal device. If they want to gain access to a SaaS application, we have the ability to do that either managed or unmanaged. And then from an app instance perspective, we're able to either see that it's coming from a corporate environment or a personal environment, right? And then from an app risk rating perspective, and this is something else very cool that we have benefits into, which is our Cloud Confidence Index. We have the ability to rate applications based upon risk, right? So you're also able to do that along with URL categorization. And from an activity perspective, we will be able to see so many more, right? We'll be able to see uploads, shares, whether or not you created the document, edit, post, what have you. Over 15 plus control mechanisms that you have the ability to define within a policy today. And then user risk rating, user behavior analytics is also a unique piece for us, allowing us to see what that user is actually trying to do. From a threat perspective, once again, we have threat intel and AV sandboxing and all that good stuff. But from a data perspective, we're able to see profiles and rules focused on machine learning and AI, right? So very cool stuff. And then from a policy action perspective, not only do we have the ability to allow or block, but we can now coach, we can encrypt, we can legal hold, we can quarantine, we can do all of these different policy actions to ensure that, our customers are 100% secure. Okay, so now let's get into some ecosystem integrations, right? So once again, like I mentioned earlier, we do web, we do SaaS, we do IaaS or platform as a service, we do private applications, right? Via zero trust networking, and then we also do BYOD or bring your own device, right? And this is pretty much done with a lot of ecosystem integration pieces, right? So as you can see, as I build out this slide, right, we are seeing a great deal of different things happening here. So from an identity perspective today, whether you're using, a third-party IDP, like a Ping or an Okta or a SailPoint or something like that, we have the ability to integrate that into our security cloud platform. From an SD-WAN perspective, I think that Cipher is currently using Fortinet. So with that being said, we have hooks in for Fortinet, not only SD-WAN, but also firewalls, right? We have the ability to steer traffic from that up to our Netskope security cloud, right, for additional protection. From an email security perspective, I think that Cipher uses Proofpoint for email, right? So if you guys are thinking about making a move over to Proofpoint for email, just know that Netskope plays very nicely with them in the ability to do a threat intel exchange of information to ensure that you are going to be secure in the Netskope security cloud. Endpoint security, I think that Cipher today is using Sentinel-1, so we would also take those threat intel feeds, right, and be able to push information from the endpoint security host check up through our security cloud and then back down. And then last but not least, from an MSSP or SIM perspective today, SIM or SOAR, I guess you could say, right? All those response actions coming through, we have the ability to link that up with our reporting as well for some really nice analytics type reporting. I mean, we would work with Logarithm, Sumo Logic, Elastic, Micro Focus, whoever that SIM or SOAR provider is, we have the ability to work with them. Okay, so just to be clear here, I want to make sure that everyone understands that we used to have a couple of different Gartner Magic Quadrant reports every year that Netskope was always all about and into, right? So first of all, we had the CASB Magic Quadrant, and that is now going to be physically retired. So Gartner will never talk about a CASB MQ anymore. They will also not talk about secure web gateway, not next generation secure web gateway, but just secure web gateway, right? They will not talk about that anymore because we've replaced it with the SSE Magic Quadrant. And once again, Netskope offers advanced data security capabilities that are far along the path of most of these vendors, right? Netskope offers a strong SLA for uptime and latency, right, which we just discussed. And then Netskope appears frequently on the short list against other SSE vendors. And taking a look over here at the left, where Palo Alto Networks and Cisco sit, right? I think that Palo Alto Networks is definitely trying very hard to move themselves into the leader category, but they are lacking in certain areas, which will not allow them to gain access into that leader quadrant. So right now, we see three major players in the leader quadrant: Zscaler, McAfee or Sky High Networks, and us, right? So I think we're more than just the short list at this point. I feel like many customers, hopefully including yourselves, are going to take a look at our platform, have a great understanding for how we do it, and allow us to steer traffic from your network into our security cloud. Okay, so Gartner has also published some critical capabilities and use cases, right? And for SSE specifically, they have outlined 4 use cases and 10 critical capabilities. So let's take a look here and see, first of all, what the use cases are all about, and then I'll also cover the critical capabilities with you guys as well. So here are the 4 use cases that Gartner has put out here. First one being secure web and cloud usage, right? We have the ability to secure web traffic, using our next generation secure web gateway connectivity, and cloud usage with CASB, right? We have the ability to detect and mitigate threats as well, using our advanced threat protection which is built in to our platform at no additional cost. We're able to connect and secure remote workers as well using zero trust network architecture, right? We have our own NPA, which is called Netskope Private Access, which allows that to happen not only via a secure client, but also clientless, right? So we have the ability to do that and then identify and protect sensitive information, which is really what we're all about, right? We're all about data protection. Once again, biggest thing for Netskope is about securing all of your cloud data, right? No matter where it is, whether it be out on a website or using a cloud-based application, right, we have the ability to identify and protect all of that sensitive data. Okay, so here are the critical capabilities. I don't really want to read through this entire list. However, I will highlight a couple, right? So once again, advanced threat defense, right? We have an ATP or advanced threat protection mechanism that includes several ML engines running to make sure that we're able to make very quick decisions focused on advanced threat protection. We have data security as well, right? Utilizing our entire platform. And enterprise application and service integration using all of those vendors I mentioned earlier, right? So we have the ability to do that too. Okay, so now on to some challenges that SSE addresses. So there are some current challenges today in the world. Obviously, folks like to buy multiple vendor solutions, right? I get that. You might have maybe Blue Coat for web. You might have something else for SaaS. Legacy VPN, maybe via Cisco or something of that nature, right? We have the ability today to be a single vendor and a single integrated console, right? So once again, all of everything that we do is available today in one platform, one console, so that we don't have to worry about opening up multiple consoles to take a look at things. And for threat hunting capabilities as well, you have the ability to pull up one view of logs, take a look at everything that might be affecting your cloud-based network today, right? So, I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Customers are still backhauling traffic in many cases as well, right? So a direct connection to the cloud is really what we're offering there. We are offering the fastest direct connection to the cloud. No comprehensive data protection, right? Lack of visibility and control for sensitive data and lack of regulatory compliance, right? So we have the ability today with our advanced cloud DLP, granular control, and once again, compliance standards, which allow us, to take a look at all of your data, but then also be able to protect all of that data. And, one other thing here that's worth making mention of, legacy threat protection can't keep up with advanced threats, right? Ransomware, sophisticated phishing, etc., right? Advanced threat protection with AI and machine learning and user behavior analytics is something that we feel very strongly about. And then, I really don't necessarily need to mention this anymore. I think I've drilled it in pretty good, but a single agent and a single pass architecture. Okay, so Netskope, SSE, and our advantages, right? So once again, you want to hit the easy button. Netskope is definitely that button that you should choose, right? We are very simple, very easy to install, very easy to work with, very easy to create policies, very easily to, figure out where those threats might be coming from. I mean, our platform is really very, very good at being simple. We have zero trust today with continuous adaptive controls. Once again, we have the ability to do that either using our Netskope client, or the other option is to go clientless and just be able to see who that user is via an identity provider. Sophisticated cloud security, right? When I talk about cloud-based security today, Netskope is definitely one of the most sophisticated vendors out there. And we have the gold standard for data protection, right, with our DLP. So, very, very good stuff happening here at Netskope. Okay, so here are some key buzzwords that you folks might hear from time to time. I want to make sure that, if you're hearing any of these terms, or, if it's something that you feel very strongly about, that we can definitely help you, right? So legacy proxy replacement, we see that happening all the time now. Legacy blue coat customers, right, wanting to be able to see all of that contextual data that I shared earlier with you, right? Customers are definitely wanting to see more of that. Zero trust, right? So we have the ability today to do zero trust networking for any application, whether it be a homegrown app or just a regular cloud-based app. It does not matter, and we don't care, right? We just want to be able to protect that user from seeing anything else out there outside of the applications that they should be accessing, or that you should be accessing. We have the ability to secure remote workers today as well, right? We have the ability to move from hairpinning to a direct to net connection. So if any of you today are currently doing hairpinning out there on the network side, right, to force your traffic right through a VPN tunnel, or maybe through an SD-WAN scenario, we can move that traffic direct to net, which basically means that you don't have to worry about hairpinning anymore. You don't have to worry about that connection. All you're doing is steering traffic directly to our New Edge network at that point. We do have the ability to secure Office 365 and other applications as well, right? So when I say that we have an agreement with Microsoft, it's more of a SLA with Microsoft at this point, right? We have the fastest network overall to handle O365. No one else can do it in the world today. We are the only ones that have that relationship to make sure that Office traffic is going extremely fast through our New Edge network. And that would be, with that 10 millisecond SLA. Ransomware protection, right? We hear about that all the time. Do we really want to succumb ourselves to a ransomware attack? Probably not, right? But we're seeing that happen more and more frequently with cloud than ever before. And then data protection, right? So the ability, once again, to do that DLP, wherever it might be, cloud-based app, web, or zero trust, right? Being able to allow us to see that data. Okay, so the SSE journey, right? So basically, we know that not every customer is going to want to develop or engage in every single aspect of what we have today, right? We get it. We know that you guys as customers might only want to use one or two pieces here, And we get that, right? We're not going to force you to buy the entire platform all at one time. So what we have the ability to do today is break out our products a little bit, right, to allow you to see some of what's going on, and then moving forward, hopefully, buying more and more from Netskope, right? So SSE inline gateways today, you would have a secure web gateway plus maybe a CASB, right? A cloud firewall or a Netskope private access. You would probably want to take a look at one of those features, right? And then from there, then we can build onto that, right? By adding API and posture management. And then deeper data and threat as well, right? So being able to move even further to see advanced user behavior analytics or advanced cloud firewall, right? And then last but not least, up at the top of this slide here, adaptive controls across all users, applications, and data. So that's really the scale of our transformation and the scope of access, right? Focus on the SSE journey. And then, our advanced analytics sitting up there at the top of the food pyramid here, right? Being able to see all of what's happening out there on your network and being able to see all of that crucial data that everyone wants to see. Okay, so we do have some pretty good customer validations, right? I like this one over here on the right hand side. Netskope just works, right? We see our customers today really trying very hard to involve us in their day-to-day, right? And being able to see some of these really good quotes focused on our customer base makes us very happy, right? So when it comes to SSE, Netskope provides an all-around product. We choose Netskope over any other vendor because it seemed to be more mature of an SSE platform, which I would definitely agree with, right? When we started building this company close to 10 years ago now, we started building CASB, right? Cloud Security Access Broker. That's what we're doing. And then from there, we decided, hey, let's try to build some secure web gateway stuff as well, right? And then on top of that, let's build RBI. Let's build, some CSPM tools into this. Let's build SSPM tools, right? Let's build cloud firewall. Let's build some of these things that we're seeing our customers want, right? So all of this is really what we're focusing on. And then here we go. We enable people to be productive and secure while working from anywhere. Okay, so here are some quick next steps of things that we feel very strongly that you can do to really learn more about SSE, learn more about the Magic Quadrant, and then learn more about Netskope, right? So we have this link in here focused on the Magic Quadrant report. I would definitely take a look at that if you guys have an opportunity. I feel like it is a very strong positioning mechanism. And hopefully folks who are looking at other technology providers like Zscaler or Palo Alto or even McAfee today, if you take a look at what Gartner is saying within that report itself, you will see that Netskope is really being positioned as a leader in that quadrant. And then we would ask you to take a risk assessment, right? So we have a security checker here, and we also have a bandwidth calculator, right? So if you want to see how New Edge would be able to provide you with the fastest connection in the world, all you need to do is click on that link and it'll take you right there. If you want to do one of our Netskope security checks or that risk assessment, like I mentioned, right, then click on that netscopesecuritycheck.com and try that out. Well, I've talked to many customers about what we do and how we do it. And if you take a look at that Netscope security check, and you are able to get that security check to run at 100%, which basically means that you will pass that security check in full. If you're able to do that, let me know. Feel free to email me. Feel free to send me a text with a picture of that 100%. I will take you for the world's most expensive steak dinner, right? Because we have not been able to see anyone being able to pass that security check with 100%. So it's up to you. If you really want to take me up on that, feel free. And then take an inventory of assets, plan a migration to SSE components. Let these nice folks at Cipher help you, right, to do that. So with that being said, how Cipher makes SSE possible? Your partner on the SSE and SASE journey. I really appreciate all your time today, folks. I look forward to maybe working with you in the future. Please let us know how we can help you. Reach out to Cipher, let them know, and we'll be more than happy to help you in any way that we can. And now let's bring up some Q&A. All right, so let's take a look in the chat. All right, so it looks like there are a couple of questions coming up. What verticals do you mostly play in? Right, and this is coming from Bill and Cipher. So thank you very much for that question. And really, we focus in three major areas or segments: healthcare, finance, and retail. We are also seeing a big uptick in the Fed space. And coming soon, we are going to have FedRAMP capabilities, which will allow us to do even more from a federal government perspective. So I feel like, moving forward, we're definitely going to see more Fed type opportunities. All right. So do we have any other questions at all? I'm trying to look through here on the chat. Okay, so Patrick, thank you very much for the question. How do you seamlessly integrate software into the secure ecosystem? That is a great question. And we do it via API, right, Patrick? So we have the ability today to link, any one of those vendors in with our software using APIs. Fiona, thank you for the question. You shared a lot. Oh no, I'm sorry.
Just a quick comment on the question from Patrick. Where an API is not well known, there is a facility within the Netskope environment to actually inspect the traffic and basically assign each URL to a specific action. So you can actually see the URL that's related to a login event. You can see the URL that's related to a data post event, and you actually categorize those in the recording process and ultimately build out a parser for a custom API. So it's under custom applications in the Netskope tool.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. Thank you very much for chiming in there. And then Fiona, you have a question. You said shared a lot of info with us today. What is the most important takeaway from this training? I feel, pretty strongly that the most useful piece is going to be our New Edge network, right? And the fact that we are the highest performing security cloud in the industry today. But along with that, I think that our main focus on three distinct areas, one being web protection with data protection and advanced threat protection, right? Second being cloud-based app protection with inline and out of band with data protection and advanced threat protection. And then third, our zero trust networking, right? Which is private access VPN. So I think that those three things, if I'm able to leave you with anything today, hopefully I was able to get those three things across. And what are the benefits of working with an MSSP on the SSE journey? Michael, do you want to try to handle that one?
I think the division of responsibilities are the key to that. I think Netskope has a wonderful technological platform, and I think Cipher fits into the layer just above that with the ability to augment staffing, so people. We also have in-depth experience with policy building and tuning, so policy. And we've also seen a lot of different processes in terms of incident escalation, remediation, ultimately recovery efforts. So I think where Netskope gives us a great starting point from a technological standpoint, Cipher can layer over the top of that with people, policy, and process.
I love the three P's there, Michael. Thank you. No, I mean, very, very good. And thank you once again, folks, for your time today. We look forward to working with you in the future. Feel free to reach out to your Cipher team if there's anything you might need from a Netskope SSE perspective. I think Cipher has you covered. Please let us know if you have any other additional questions that might not have been answered. You can reach out to Cipher on those as well. And, I'm sure I will hear back from Michael and the team about any information that you guys would like to know about. Thank you very much, and have yourself a great day.